Hello, Diamonds and Bullet. I am not embarrassed to talk about sex with my kids one time. At an appropriate age, they have taken sex education in 6th grade. I believe that's like 11 years old. My math may be incorrect. First, I would have had both of them around, and they are both now 12 and 14 pretty much. So it is time. And I apologize their mother's not here, as it should have been done as a mother and all-child conversation. And they would have been a little bit freaked out or embarrassed, but they needed to hear it. I would have first started off saying the moon is an eyeball, and just go ask God why. Now, I know all the reasons why, and I have said a lot of the reasons why, but I'm going to talk now off the top of my head without notes about how to drive 55. First of all, if you're smoking cigarettes or marijuana or anything else, never eat your girlfriend's mom's chili, which means always smoke your cigarette with the same hand you lit it with. Now that means you can bounce it back and forth between left and right. Like, I will light it with my left hand, pull it with my right hand, take a drag, and then put it in my left hand and take a drag and leave it there. But if I ever smoke with my left hand, I will not have an orgasm through masturbation or sex that day, because I do not want to have sex with a Dalmatian, because my sneeze is like a Dalmatian, which makes my cigarette similar in energy. So be careful. Have self-control. It does not pay to be drunk and horny. Do not have an orgasm with your ankles crossed. I think guys can. Didn't do nothing to me. Just made me feel fatter. But women, from what I hear, will turn asexual, and they won't really like to date. They really won't like men. They're happy being alone, and they probably want to have grandchildren, and like, I would like some grandchildren. It is okay to suck air in your mouth after you swallow, because I said there's a cell phone in front of your face at night anyways, so just be careful. It's not that complicated. I don't know what else to say. No one gives a shit. Welcome to the revelation of, because I told you could, you can. And you don't even need to ask more anymore, because it has been written. God said so. Now, I'm not God, but God's in my dreams. And I'm not going to tell you what his name is. I know his real name. He probably knows his real name, too. I have had dreams, two dreams, of actually being inside of, like, a magma waterfall, and I wasn't hurting, and it was just like, it felt like it was metallic-y, mediocrely warm, coldish, coolish, like I was part of the magma. The first time, I got kicked out onto a dock in the middle of, like, the first time the door to this magma was there, and I was let in real quick, and then, like, I got kicked out, and I was knocking on the door, and he wouldn't let me back in. Red as white. And, so the second time, I was in there I don't really remember what happened. But I know I didn't get kicked out that time. The magma probably represents your blood, which is like strawberries, because blood and strawberries taste real similar, as I have smoked blood with greenwich, which is what I call marijuana. And that's how I started feeling like things were electronic. Like, my skin's electronic, like metallic-y colors, like metallic colors, like everything started looking like metallic colors. The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, it's a book. I read some of it. Didn't really figure I needed to read anymore because I thought I would learn it on my own after reading so much, and I have learned enough to relay messages. The things that I tell you on my videos or in person are being forced to tell you. God forces me to tell you. Because if I do not tell you, I get killed in my dreams by him. Now, remember, I know God's name, and he says red is white, and I've been murdered by him a lot of ways over the years since I've been divorced. I've had my head cut off, and I was like a balloon, and I sat there with my head severed and blood all around me, like looking around going, what the hell? I've had my head blown up, and it grew back. I've been killed by my brother as a teenager in my dreams with a big, long, like samurai sword that got shoved up my butt and went through my head. Before I met my brother, I had dreams of being locked in a chair, and Freddy Krueger was threatening to kill me, and the only way to get out of the chair before he killed me was to start cussing, and I would fall down into a pit, and when I hit the floor, I would die and wake up. I've had dreams of my heart being pulled and pushed and pumped and flattened, and any other descriptive word of that similar type, to where I thought it was going to explode. And I have to try to wake up from my dream so it doesn't explode like a bomb. I've had a dream where I was burnt and my eyeballs were the only things on top of the pile of ash, which it was a pretty big pile of ash, which doesn't make sense because cremation ashes from humans are not that big of a pile. All I know is that I was in some sort of a military war, and I got burnt. I've had a dream where my vocal cords were yellow mustard, and they were starting to get pulled out of my throat through my mouth, and if I didn't, wake up, I was going to die. And that was the worst one of them all, because I can't describe to you exactly what happened. All I know is that's what was going on. That means to me now that I have changed reality again to say that sound tastes like mustard. Or anything yellow, depending on the level of happiness that you are. If I'm probably really happy with a wife of mine, because I'm married to Shelly, or Shells, because of something I said. And now, because this is a sex conversation to my children, I have to marry them too, but it's not in the same manner because I'm verbalizing it to them, so it's different, but they're my kids. I wouldn't write the marriage note to them. I would say it. So anybody watching this ends up being my child. I hope our hearts melt together. And that's the only time I'm ever going to say that, because I should only be writing it down. Now, if I have any more kids, I will probably tell them. If my kids never see this video, they will never find that piece of me walking from behind their body through them, as you would say when you ask Jesus Christ into your heart. Because that's probably what that meant. Now, we need to learn. I think I've got all this sex stuff out of the way. Like, now dating is different from sex, but let me pause a moment about all the sex rules. Guys, we can have orgasms with our feet up. It actually feels better. It's hard to do, trust me, but it's okay. Like green-eyed people don't have any rules, and I think my boy child's eyes are green, because he said he was a turtle, and he said a lot of things to me that were really funny, scary. And I really am a little bit disappointed I missed out on all of his fun sayings that he probably have been saying all these years that may or may not have been scaring or helping or making people laugh, that have been around him, that I will never probably hear about. Hopefully he's saving some for me when he's older. And this is a side note to the conversation. Like, I am probably signing my rights over. I don't know my children anymore. I don't know how they think. I don't know how they behave. I don't know who they are. I don't even know what they look like. I know where they came from. They came from my testicles. Now, how they got into my testicles, I don't know. I don't know that part. I don't think anybody really does. Maybe I should ask a urologist. How the hell do two little balls create baby spinal cords, male and female? And why are we producing billions of them in a day? Like, technically, a lot of my children have died because out of the trillions and trillions of sperm that have came out of my body and that are still being produced and dying because I have a vasectomy, only 2 of them survived. That's really weird. I don't know. No one cares if you swallow, then blow air out your nose. The goal is to swallow and then blow air out of your nose while you're in your dream. So a way to get that to happen is to probably walk around in the dark with your mouth closed for like 20 minutes and keep swallowing and blowing air out your nose without opening your mouth for 20 minutes and just keep making a helicopter back and forth. And if you're sober doing that, you're not going to be sober when you're done. I suggest using a clothesline like I did to walk back and forth as a guide so you don't run into anything, unless you're in a totally open place where there's nothing around. Then you can maybe even run around a little bit because you know you got about a mile area to not run into nothing. But I used a clothesline that I had grapevines on each side, which is where I let my turtles, Chocolate and Sunshine, go. Probably in cold weather, so they probably dug a hole and hibernated. I don't know if they're alive, but I couldn't take care of them anymore, so I let them go. I used to call my kids Bullet and Diamonds, and I named the turtles Chocolate and Sunshine. Them represented my children, and that's what I was going to start calling them, was Chocolate and Sunshine. However, I don't know what to call them anymore because I probably will never see them ever again. would be my assumption. And that's okay, because I'll just keep my money to myself. You can try to become rich. I don't care. Side note, I have a publishing company that's most likely going to publish my 5th book that I wrote, which is on my website, www.digitalenvironmentalcommunication.com. Along with a lot of other psychology things, which I changed the name of psychology to frogology, and since it has been written, it is so, because I do stuff like that. The color blue is no longer called blue. It is called Nebraska-tucky. The color pink is no longer called pink. It's called Squiggerun. That's all I know about word changing for now. I could change the whole English dictionary, and I may work on that one day. Just buy the dictionary of all the words in English, and I would go through and change them. Just cross it off and write in the new one. Wouldn't even have to write the whole definition. The definition would be the same, just different spelling. If you want to sleep, you're going to want, my eyes are going to be open, but when you try to close your eyes, first swallow normally. And I suck air in because there's a phone in my face, so the energy I'm sucking in is now my cell phone. So I swallow it, I close my mouth, I suck air in after I swallow, and then I'll breathe out, and then I'll breathe a little bit more, and then as I breathe out, I'll close my lips, suck in my nose, and swallow. That's Jeremiah the bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine, so I will demonstrate how to swallow while sleeping. And you're just going to have to pretend my eyes are closed. It may look like they are, I don't know. So here we go. This is a 2-process part. Didn't breathe through my nose that time. Okay. Now, I'm breathing out. It was like a little Z. I blew out my mouth. I sucked in my nose. I swallowed. And I sucked in my nose. All with my eyes closed. That's Jeremiah the bullfrog. That keeps negative energy out of my pillow. I've been trying to think that everybody can say the word never mind, because our Dalmatian energy is like our sneeze energy is like Dalmatian fur. I may be wrong. Maybe only people that can see their heart energy can say that word. So if you like unicorns, don't say that word. I'm confused about Shelly, because she said she was a unicorn, but she told me she was left-eye dominant. I had a dream that my left eye was a glass stop sign when I was 17. That's why the eye patch is on my eye for 3 months. Doctor's orders. I have to put a drop in my eye called Deadly Nightshade, which is a very hardcore hallucination drug that helps me switch eye dominance. I tried teaching my kids eye dominance. I don't know if they got the point. If you don't know your eye dominance, your eyes are blended together like a cyborg. We need to teach these following things in school. Following things. Teach kids their eye dominance in elementary and make sure they know it by the time they go to middle school. We need to teach in middle school that females' vocal cords vibrate faster, and that's why their voice is higher pitched. We also need to teach that women use their eyes to remember past events. Men use their eyes to solve problems. We need to teach people in high school, or, well, since you're my kids, I would teach you now. But high school would probably be better. But I can make decisions on how to parent my children, or should be able to, because I'm the better parent, psychologically. I know how it feels to grow from baby to an old man, and how I would have thought, socialized, and physically grew. And I know about both male and female because I have a book downstairs called Developmental Psychology that I got an A+ in my schooling on it. I know everything about every stage of life, period. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not an adult technically until you are 25 because your brain does not fully grow to size until you're 25. Why the government says you're an adult at 18 is retarded because you're still an adolescent. So from the age of when you start driving, you are in adulthood. Adulthood is a new stage of development, which means when you start driving a car, you are in adulthood. When you hit age 18, you are an adolescent. Or no. You're an adolescent until you start driving. When you start driving, you are in adulthood until you are 25. And then you are an adult. These are physical names for things, not psychological. If you're a guy, start shaving your face with a razor every night or morning, whenever you want, with cheap ass shaving cream for 10 years. And then you should be able to grow a beard like mine. Although, depending on the guy, you may be lucky and notice after a couple weeks or something that I can grow a pretty good beard. Like, and I'm pretty young. But if it doesn't come out good and the mustache looks dumb and you can't get the beard going, then you're gonna have to shave every day for 10 years and be a baby face. And by then, you'll notice it grows in thick as it's going to get. I didn't have a beard until 2 years ago because I kept shaving and I kept shaving and I kept shaving with a razor, not an electric razor. And I'm assuming I'm not going to teach either of my kids how to drive, which I'm a very good driver's ed teacher. You have no idea how smart I am when it comes to talking about school subjects and staying on point of school subjects. I hope you guys smoke cigarettes. But it'd be healthier not to. Just don't be dumb like I was. Stay away from drugs. Because I could tell you about the drugs without you even having to do them. And you would feel like you were on them for a little bit, but it really wouldn't harm that much because it would be more like a picture than a feeling. And then you would learn your lesson. To dating. You need to understand what your eye color is. My eyes have green and yellow and brown on the inside of my iris that zigzag this way, like out towards the outside of the rim. The rim of my iris is water blue. So the only eye color that I don't have is silver. However, if I put an I after every O and an I before every A in the American language, I would now be an American Oriental man, and I would speak Oriental. I, however, do not have the talent to change the way I speak my original language and add letters in like that. But I can write like that, and I quite often do, because if I didn't have kids, I would probably be living in North Vietnam, so I could speak like the Orientals, because the Orientals speak like they have spoons in their mouth, and it sounds so great. So know your eye color, because your eye, but my base eye color is green. I have a T-Rex brain and short arms. If you have brown eyes, you're just a tree. If you have blue eyes, you're just water. If you have silver eyes, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, metal, mountain, I don't know. Like, that's the greatest eyes there are. There are lots of women out there that have such soft voices. These are the women that you want to date. There are men out there that are nerds. These are the men you want to date. You do not want to date somebody that has the same perspectional dominance as you. I am left-brained, I am left-eyed, and I wear glasses. So I would prefer to date somebody that's not the same perspectional dominance as me. I have green eyes, I'm left brain, I'm left eye dominant, and I wear glasses that are not reading glasses. From what I hear, people with reading glasses are not vampires. Everybody else, you probably are. When I smoke a cigarette, I do not move my lips like this. I am not trying to kiss anything. I am not doing that. I am a bad fish. So once again, how I smoke my cigarettes, I'm a bad fish. You notice my lips did not try to pucker up. as I inhaled. I would suggest that if you have green eyes, you really do whatever you want. You'll figure out what you like to do and what you like not to do. This is where we were in the 90s, where we called it swerve. We didn't care about our body movements. We didn't feel that farting or coughing or burping were important issues with making our body feel differently. We did not care about our bodies in that manner because we knew our rules. That's why we didn't care. We listened to ourselves and we made rules for how we used our hands and our feet and our pelvic regions, penises or vaginas, or whatever. Men that look like they have a plastic smile have made some sort of a mistake beyond my understanding of what it is, are not good candidates to marry or date. Unless, we know all women do this. Sometimes women just like to sleep around for a while because it's easy to do. I'm not suggesting you do it, but women control the consciousness of the planet through the subconscious mind of all humans, which is their vagina, which is a yellow circle with a red slit, which is a banana with a strawberry in the middle. Which is why I have trademarked and copyrighted a tampon that hopefully you got for your birthday that has the word strawberry in red on it with black dots for seeds and a green pull cord. You probably won't get it, whatever, but next year you will see them on the shelves of stores around the world. And I made that. I don't feel responsible for where I am consciously right now because I don't even know how a tampon works. Don't have any idea how you guys use them. Lucky part is, I did not copyright or trademark any maxi pads with fruit. And remember, in the Bible somewhere, it talks about the fruit of my loins. Your loins is your crotch. Be careful who you date. Make sure you know how they look at life. Read their energy by remembering that sound tastes like mustard. And the happier you are, the more different colored foods that are yellow it will taste like. The brighter foods. I'm going to leave you with this because by now you probably stopped watching. But let's hope you were listening because I'm your dad, because I have something that'll make it all better. It'll all be better. Just hold on a minute. It is on my Facebook profile page, which a lot of people are blocked because I'm tired of them telling me I'm crying wolf. My spirit animal is a human because humans are animals. If you think you're some sort of wild animal or something, you're the problem on the planet. I probably forgot to say something I wanted to say. I'm not telling you my favorite two colors because you're not my wife. I've told one person my favorite colors. She had the same favorite colors. I don't think that's going to work out, or it might. But then I married Shelly by saying something that I previously told you what I had said. And I haven't told her my favorite colors yet. So here we go to leave you at 35 seconds and 47 seconds. Minutes first accident. First question. Do you believe words change the way your skin feels, or did I used to believe it and no longer do? Second question. Do you believe that I don't follow specific conversational patterns of socialization skills to prevent my skin from making me feel and or turn into some sort of mentally ill deviant because of my green eyes? Final thoughts. I can meditate and be a bumblebee, or I can sleep and be a T-Rex. Nothing else matters on levels of taking care of your own thoughts in order to be socially accepted within a job you are logically capable of doing. I don't know why I am saying this. For help me help you. You have no idea how safe this place I talk about is. And I have posted that I love Shelly more than my own kids. I should not have to explain why. I can't say I love my kids. I don't know. They may be horrible people. I don't know. I don't know who they're turning into. Not everybody's kid are good kids. Like, I'm a good person. I'm just black. My skin smells brown, but I still consider myself black. Beige is the color of lumber. It's also the color of my skin. It's also the color of my kitchen and my hallway. My bathroom is yellow. It makes it bigger. My upstairs loft where I sleep is orange. My stairs are green. And I have a blue rope light going up my staircase so I can see to walk at night. I'm painting my downstairs bedroom lavender. I'm painting my half bedroom lavender. And my house is green with white trim. I have an orange light bulb on the front porch with a video doorbell security system. And my back floodlight is yellow. I have a fire pit that I can burn as big a fire as I want. I have a smoking pit where I can smoke cow heads and pig heads. I'm going to soon have a brick grill. That's not what it was called originally, but a friend of mine is going to help me make a grill out of brick, a smokehouse, I think is what it was called. Smoking pit. I have a garden. I have 6 fruit trees. I only eat oranges at night. Personal preference. I make personal rules for myself, and I don't get mad at myself when myself tells me that I have to do it a certain way. I don't like to snort air in my nose. So I like to blow my nose. And yes, this is a piercing. Take care of your nose. It's the only one you're going to get. No one cares what rules you think you have if you have green eyes. The fun part of having green eyes is you spend your life breaking all these rules to see what it feels like until you realize that, yeah, that probably was true. I'll stop doing it. So, don't try to suck your penis. Please. Don't try to suck your genitalia. Not good. I did it. So I'm telling you, no, you don't have to. But I'm telling you this since there's a cell phone in your face that has sexual energy in it. Because everything in life is about sex. And I'm quoting Amy off of The Big Bang Theory. And she's a scientist and a doctor, so she must know. So everybody on Earth is now allowed to consciously suck air in their mouth after they swallow, because I said you're smart enough to figure out how to take care of it and use it wisely. When I sign my rights over to my children, if you guys come back to me for money, you're going to have to spend a year working with me after you show up and prove to me that you changed your name back to Dillander. If you don't change your name back to Dillander, no money for you. I've had a lot of head trauma. I was born with a rare eye disease called dissociated vertical deviance. My left eye had a blind spot in it that made me perceive life like I had glaucoma in it, but I didn't. My eyes did not work in unison. One of them lagged behind. My left eye couldn't follow my right eye as fast as it should have. When I covered each of my eyes, they each moved up involuntarily. That is what they call dissociated vertical deviance. Dissociative meaning blind spot. Because it was acting like glaucoma, and dissociative, pretending to be glaucoma. Vertical meaning they moved up when I covered them. And deviance meaning they did not follow each other in unison. 34 years of my life I dealt with this. At age 2, I cracked my skull open on my frontal lobe, and my long-term memory is shot. I have autism in speech because I don't remember past conversations or events of shared memories to tell stories later. Number one, because I don't have shared memories with people because I can't remember, because they were mainly bad memories. Number two, I've never had a close emotional relationship with anybody in my life for any significant amount of time. I've never felt that anybody truly loved me unconditionally. At age 7, I got molested by my uncle. Grandpa walked in and said, "Chad, pull your pants up," and that's all I remember. The next day, I had a memory while playing Nintendo with him that he was beating me with the controller, and I felt like I was all red and I was stuck in walking into a spider web. Red is white. A little bit later that year, on July 4th, I had a black cat that I put into an empty Roman candle. It did not go off. So I stuck my left eye down to look, which was my dominant eye. And it blew up in my eye. So my mother and Grandpa Jim held me under the faucet for 15 minutes to flush all the stuff out of my eye. I had to wear an eye patch on this eye, which is my left eye, and it changed my eye dominance to this eye, which is why I'm wearing an eye patch on this eye, so I can go back to being this eye dominant, because I knew red is white when I was 7. I had just forgotten about it until you explained it to me. And it scared me when you said, "Hello, Mr. Crocodile. Don't sit in the dark. Red is white." At age 12, hallucinations started because I hit puberty because of my eye disease, and I started showing signs of schizophrenia. But I started doing hallucinogens at age 14, and marijuana is a hallucinogen. I call marijuana greenage. Greenage is a mild hallucinogen. It makes you perceive things like chocolate, ears. Turns your ears into chocolate. It's not a bad thing for most people. Some people shouldn't handle marijuana or greenage. Some people can't handle alcohol. I don't like alcohol. That's why I can handle it. I barely can drink anything if I drink. I mean, I don't drink now, but after I got divorced, I had rules. Don't drink more than 7. There's 7 sins. Don't drink more than 7. My new rule is 1 for each kid and 1 for me. So that's 3. No more than 3. But I still really don't like it. It makes me just cringe. I started getting slipped drugs at age 16. As of my life now, at age 35, I've been slipped drugs more than 7 times. That's considered attempted man spiritual slaughter, which means it pretty much kills your spirit from being alive. But I fought for all these years to talk it out so my spirit would come back and be fully grown, so I could have my golden smile back. You remember the sounds taste like mustard? Remember that? Yeah. My golden smile. At age 18, I started getting locked up because they thought I was schizophrenic, which I acted like it, but they didn't listen to me when I told them that's not what was wrong. My whole life, all I needed was eye surgery to fix my eyes so I stopped hallucinating. Just because I'm saying weird things doesn't mean I'm hallucinating. These are ideas I'm having now that are causing you to hallucinate. I'm purposefully making these up before I feel or see them. They're spiritual images. Your spirit presents images for you to see. It's your aura. Your spiritual energy comes from your underwear area. Hence, sexual energy is your spirit. Women's sexual energy is like a yellow mushroom. Men's sexual energy is like an alligator. So I had my eye surgery after the divorce. And I woke up and I no longer saw a yellow haze around objects. And the doctor said he'd heard that before from other patients. I've been in visual conscious reality for 4 months. And I still have all those memories of hallucinating for all those decades that now I'm taking all those hallucinations and I am bringing back the Garden of Eden because I can organize it so you all can live in heaven on earth. I have a non-profit organization I'm starting someday soon that will change the government. Never mind what it's about right now, that doesn't matter. I have an online store at cafepressdigitalnativeapparel.com. www.cafepress/digitalnativeapparel and more. And beware, apparel spelled wrong on accident. There's a shirt on there that says Smoke Sound. I suggest everybody buys it. I have other logos on things you can buy. And I will be uploading more logos of things you can buy. I'm just not fastly doing it. Because my brain hurts from trying to organize 34 years of a false reality into what reality really is. My thoughts hurt. I hate my brain right now. And I don't know how long it'll take for my brain to be up to speed to my current age. As of right now, I am technically 4 months out of a conscious coma. So I'm 4 months old. It's a form of amnesia. I was doing things and I was awake, but I was in a conscious coma. The decisions I was making were not me because I had the head trauma. I shouldn't have to apologize because I was the one that was robbed of 34 years of my life because of cracking my skull open, blowing my eye up with a firecracker, and being born with the rare eye disease that caused me to not be able to focus properly, therefore blowing my eye up and cracking my skull open. Doctors should have noticed lots of times when I went to the eye doctor that I needed eye surgery. I went to college and found out how the brain processes information. You hear it in your auditory cortex. It goes in your ear to your little hearing centers on each side of your head. And then it only goes to the left side of your head where it's processed. Information we only process on our left side of our head. That's why left eye dominant people are smarter. So it comes from our hearing center to our Wernicke's area where we understand where we process how we understand it. And then it goes to your Broca's area where you process how you want to relay the information. Then it goes to your emotional cortex, where you take the words you want to use and then they come out your vocal cords or your throat. My words don't come out of my mouth, they come out of my vocal cords, and they they taste like mustard, remember? So sound is now yellow. If you don't like it, you're gonna have a lot of problems with life if you don't listen and just agree. Because that's where I'm staying now. Sound is yellow, and you're gonna like it eventually. You can fight it all you want, but I won. Because I changed the planet by myself, fighting everybody telling me that I couldn't talk the way I wanted to talk. Well, guess what? I'm still here. And I'm starting to make money. And I have a very lovely woman named Shelly who has the softest voice.